Today, I'm sitting down with Peter Sheriff and Clayton Izzett to unpack the findings from State Street's latest data opportunity study. The 2025 data study gathered insights from over 900 asset owners and managers globally, including 300 from APAC. And the results? They show APAC firms are leading the way in implementing holistic data strategies and leveraging advanced analytics across the investment lifecycle. Thank you both for joining me today. Let's explore what these findings mean for our region. Pete, what is a holistic data strategy?
Thanks, Nicole. That's a great question. When we think about a holistic data strategy, we really mean looking at things from an enterprise lens. So across the front, the middle and the back office, but also there's ancillary data sets such as ESG or portfolio analytics, and really thinking about that from a data management, a data governance, and an end-to-end quality perspective.
Okay, and what practical steps are APAC institutions taking to achieve this holistic data strategy?
It really starts with looking at the overall data operating model, by which we mean looking at the governance process, the data management, the quality management throughout that life cycle, and then really sort of taking that and rolling that into solving for real world business problems. And we see that as being absolutely critical. It is, historically, we've seen data projects start with what data do we have and then try and really fit the solution into problem statements. Where we see that there's a much greater degree of success is when you start with a business problem and then look to solve that with that data operating model and strategy.
And Clayton, where do the biggest hurdles remain and what are some of the challenges in achieving this?
Thanks, Nicole. I don't want to oversimplify it, but I think it really comes down to both people and process. It's really difficult to find the right people with the right skills and the right experience to enact the strategies required to enable a holistic data strategy outcome. That includes process, that includes culture, that includes changing the way that you think about your data to achieve these outcomes. The Dunning-Kruger effect is real in data management, where it's easy to see a couple boxes on a page and think that you can go execute against that idea, but actually working through the nuances of what a data model is, how that can be efficient for you, and how it can ultimately service the insights you need from a business is a really, really challenging place to be.
You mentioned real problems. What are some of these user cases and what are investment firms doing to explore this?
We see a number of use cases come out of this. Anything from client reporting, so our clients needing to report to their end clients, to the ongoing increase in requirement from the regulators, so more granular, faster paced data sets. It used to be that in a given organization, you may need to get data from your front office, from your middle office, maybe from your back office, and bring those things together, combine different data models to be able to achieve the reporting that's required by the regulators. Through a holistic data strategy, you're able to then pull those different things together, including some of the data sets that Pete mentioned, such as ESG or analytics, to complement those things to ensure that you're reporting accurately and correctly to your regulator without that being a huge operational burden for your team.
And from a front office perspective, it comes down to insights more than anything else. We see a real sort of push to get faster time to insight, more actionable insights from the outputs of these holistic data strategies, and particularly around sort of driving better access to portfolio analytics, trend analysis, and really identifying those investment opportunities. So from a front office perspective, we really see the use cases here as around actionable insights that drive better investment outcomes.
Of course, no conversation would be complete without talking about AI, and APAC is leading that charge. Clayton, where do you see AI and advanced analytics delivering the most value for investment firms in APAC over the next 2 to 5 years?
There are so many use cases for AI, and by the day this grows. I think about this both from what we do as a service provider, as well as what our clients are talking to us about what they are trying to do. So from our perspective, data quality is the easiest use case for us, or the most obvious one. So enabling us to move from reactive data quality to proactive. So being able to predict different things that are happening, be able to suggest changes in the data. So that could be pattern recognition. I've never seen these two pieces of data together. This is unusual. Surfacing that up to someone to actually clean and fix and manage. Or saying, this data point is missing. It's always this value. I'm going to suggest to you that that's what it is. So that will just reduce our operational burden in overcoming these data quality challenges. From the client side, they're starting to really explore advanced, I'd say, machine learning type outcomes on saying, I now have access to a huge amount of data. It's in a very consistent and well-managed and well-governed data model, this holistic data model strategy. I can now start applying algorithms to that to understand changes over time. I specifically think about conversations we're having around tax. So clients, our superannuation clients in Australia, being very large taxpayers, it's important to them to be able to analyze these things over time, look for trends, maybe be able to take advantage of closing the gap between estimates they're putting in their unit prices versus the actual tax outcomes, and thinking through that on a much broader scale.
That tax area is a really interesting one, Clay, and I might come back to that in a second. But again, like from a front office perspective, where we see AI really starting to come into play, initially it's around simplistic use cases like generating narrative to help empower conversations with clients, really, about things like where return is coming from inside the portfolio. But as we move into some of those more interesting areas, and coming back to your tax example, we said before about driving actionable insights, and tax is one that's always sort of been at the top of people's list, is to understand your after-tax outcomes from an investment perspective. So as we start to see more granularity in the information available to the front office from those back office sources, such as the tax book of record, for want of a better term, this is where we can really look at taking that information, those trends, those changes over time, and start to come up with better estimates for the front office as to what the tax outcomes are going to be from certain investment decisions. Really using that from a tax optimization perspective. And at the end of the day, that gives better outcomes for members, for investors globally. So we see so much sort of possibility and so much opportunity here for AI and machine learning to really drive better investment decisions going forward.
And the opportunity set for that is still ahead of us. You know, the tax forms that we all use as taxpayers are onerous, are complicated. It's no different from an institutional perspective. So changing that from a tax form into a data model that you can leverage is a really key enabler of some of these outcomes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Peter and Clayton, thank you for your insights, and thank you for watching. You can find more information on statestreet.com/insights.